Natalie, do you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Natalie. I work with Katie at Children's Mercy. We work in the Center for Children's Healthy Lifestyles and Nutrition. And then one of the programs we support is this Kansas City Physical Activity Plan, this being our sports sector. Um, and I support this sector. So I help with the agendas, put the recordings up online. I also make a newsletter every month. So if you ever have things that you want to share with our mailing list, you can send it my way and I'll disperse it. Katie, do you want to go?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna copy what Natalie said. Except I don't support the sports sector. I support five of our other ones. So I support Parks and Rec, Public Health, Schools, Media and Communications, and I'm missing one, Healthcare. So yeah, I do exactly what Natalie does, but for some of our other sectors. And I thought for one, I'm helping Natalie today, just screening our waiting room, but also I'd love to know what's going on with the sports sector because I know our parks and schools are interested in connecting with the sports sector for a couple projects. So just wanted to attend and see what you're all up to.
Yeah, Adrian, just to let you know, we've been having some security issues with our meetings. Like people, like bots have been hacking in and taking over.
Are you
And
serious?
yeah, sometimes showing
Yeah.
inappropriate images. So
Mhm.
uh, that's why we started implementing the waiting room and asking people to share their organization prior to joining.
Some
Yep.
people have too much time on their hands. I did not know that. This is news to me. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, Brent, they're just two amazing people who keep us going. I'm not as I said my goal this year was to be more engaged, because once KC United gets started, and Brent was there with us when we started KC United back in the day. Um, Literally serving as our physical activities director during a couple of summer camps and things of that nature. And so he pretty much knows the intricacies, the ins and outs of KC United probably better than a lot of folks. And again, like I said, I'm just so proud of him and all the work he and his wife are doing with children, youth, and families in Kansas City, Missouri. And so, Brent, would you mind introducing yourself? And he's also a minister, so we're going to put a time limit on him because he's got some big lungs. No, I'm just playing. But he's an amazing young man. And so, Brent, would you introduce yourself to Natalie and to Katie, please?
Said between her teeth, keep it short. No, but I'm Brent Lewis, a native of Wyandotte County. Um, uh, I've been knowing Coach Adrian all my life. I was part of his youth football program in the '90s, and so that organization kind of gave me the foundation of what I do now. I am the founder of Skills and Drill Sports Company, where we focus on character development, academic development, and then athletic development. But our mantra is developing greatness. I'm really a sports development specialist. And people say, what is that? I look at holistic training with our kids. It's not just about football. It's not just about the sport. It's about who are these young people going to be after the last down, after the whistle's blown. Sorry, my kiddos just woke up, so y'all may hear them in the background. Um, I've been privileged since 2019 to help the Chiefs in their community engagement department, helping plan camps. Recently, I've helped Nike do some events, and then I've helped Casey United with some camps, Daryl Stuckey with some camps. So I'd like to say I'm the person that you call when you want to get the job done. I may not be the first person on the list, but I'm always the person on the list, and I always get the job done. And I have a passion for our kids and families in the Kansas City metropolitan area. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Likewise, likewise.
Did
Yeah, well,
Adrian mention that most of your programs are on the Kansas City, Missouri side? with your organization?
Yes, I'm a Kansas kid, but I do a lot of things on the Missouri side. Like as far as my youth camp that I do, we host it every July. I will be hosting again July 20th. Um, I've done a free left here. Um, I've done free sports training right off of Woodland, 27th and Woodland. I've done 7-on-7, which is like a hybrid football type of thing in Gillen Park, and just day to the day to day of when I meet kids um, in the community, anywhere I can help them. I'm currently helping 2 students get scholarships with one of my partners, Claude Harris and the College Coaches Network, um, who helps kids find scholarships outside of uh, athletics and school, just money that's sitting there. And I also help kids post college who want to play professionally, whether it's semi-pro or professionally. I've helped 2 kids I helped 3 young men. One young man is playing in Germany. 2 young men will be trying out for a semi-pro team here. So when I say I'm with the kids from the start to the beginning, that's really what I'm doing. As well as coaching development, I'll throw that in there as well. We can't have good players without having good coaches. So
Adrian, do you have any updates from your organization to share?
We're starting our 15th year. Really excited about that. We just got a new promo video that we're going to start pushing today. Going to start pushing that today. I'm just really excited about some of the other transitions that are happening with our group. We met with our program leads 2 weeks ago. My finance director, who lives out of town, was in town, and so we got all of our leads together. Went and had lunch, the dinner down at Chewy's. Oh my God, that food is delicious. I eat too much. Anyway, we had a great meeting. It was amazing, and so everyone's excited. I no longer have a grant writer, so I'm taking that on. I no longer have a program director, so I'm taking that on. 2 positions that I have released to a couple of folks because we had funding. But I think I've learned some different ways of balancing so that I'm not overextending myself per se, and I can still stay in my lane with as executive director. So right now we're just preparing for 2024. My goal is to go out and look for funding. We're looking to expand. Last year, well, one thing that we really learned, and you all could probably relate to this, is that when you depend specifically on grants, that's just not a viable. That's not a viable working model, And so, my goal this year is to expand not just with grants, but with corporate funders and individual funders, and we've got a couple of major fundraisers coming up later early in the fall. A couple of concerts that we want to put on, use those as black tie events. So other than that, that's pretty much it. We have launched our church per se. We were with another church for 7 years, and that church decided to shut down. And so we have back to launching our own ministry. We're really excited about that. Last but not least, I'm planning on going back to school to get my master's degree online at Regent University. So I'm really trying to be. I got this. You'd be proud of me. I got a journal, and it's got dates and calendars on it. So calendar dates, and so I'm really trying to, channel my energy as much as possible so that I'm not doing too much. And like I said earlier, my goal is to be more engaged with KCPA because you all are really a blessing to us. And so, Brent, you'll see this group brings when you see the whole group, it brings so many facets of the greater Kansas City area to KCPA. So that's pretty much what we've got going on. And that's where we are.
I guess I will start running through our agenda and give you guys some updates on our projects. We'll start with our state of play. Brent, I don't know if you're familiar with the Aspen Institute, but we're working with their Project Play division. So they are going to come to Kansas City and complete a report that'll interview coaches, teachers, sports providers, parents, and kids, and get their experience with physical activity and sport in the Kansas City metro region. So our 6-county region is 4 counties in Missouri and 2 in Kansas. They're actually coming on the 22nd, and we're going to have our first in-person meeting with them. It'll be at the hospital here at our research institute. Adrian, did you get the calendar invite to that or see that? Okay.
Yes, I did. I'm looking at it now. It's January the 22nd through the 24th. And got it from Ruby Avila. Is that correct? Did I pronounce her name correctly?
She's the newest one on their team.
Okay.
I asked her for some updates on our youth survey that has been going out. As we mentioned in the last meeting, it was very Clay County heavy. We had 4,000 responses, but they were mostly from the Clay County School District because they sent it out district-wide. Since last month, we've made a little progress in Kansas City, Kansas. They were supposed to send it out in their newsletter. I still think responses have been slow to come in. Hopefully they'll turn up though, because I think it went out earlier this past week. When kids are coming back to school, hopefully they'll start filling it out.
Who's your contact, Natalie, at the school district?
That ended up taking quite a lift. We had about 6 meetings trying to set that up. We met with the athletic directors, someone that's in charge of like their public health and their nurses, and then their marketing and communications team too.
So that would be Mr. Simmons, who's the new athletic director, I believe.
Yeah, we met with him.
And Mr.
He
Martin.
seemed very supportive of it. He said it would be really helpful as they do their strategic planning in the coming years. I guess they're starting that like 10-year plan. So he thinks the data would be really helpful.
Good.
I think
Miguel Martin is your contact, I think. No, I'm sorry, he's with transportation. There's another gentleman there. Well, there's 2 people there, along with Dr. Stubblefield, that if you'd like me to run some run interference, I'll be glad to do that for you as well.
one of the problems we've been having with the school district is the Kansas legislator put in this new law that requires parent approval prior to surveying kids in school. So so it's not just easy as us just sending it out. But we got around that by sending it through a parent newsletter, so the parents view it, and if that they're giving consent at that point because they were the ones that were distributed the survey.
Okay, all right.
She said since last month, Johnson County and Jackson County have been seeing increased numbers and responses. And then she sent a list of some of the community partners that have distributed it. I don't need to read it all to you, but a lot of the Parks and Rec department, some of our adaptive sports programs, most of our pro teams with their youth programming, the current Sporting KC, their Chiefs flag football, those groups are hopefully helping us distribute right now. So we're hoping to get some more survey numbers. Based on those groups just starting to distribute, we're going to plan on closing the survey at the end of the month. So we've got a little more time. Another step that they're going to take when they're here is they're going to conduct some focus groups. They have one set up with KCK schools. It's going to be on their teacher professional development day. So that way they'll get to get some feedback from the physical education department in KCK. They're also looking to schedule some youth groups. So they'll consist of maybe 4 to 6 kids, really personal small groups, and they'll ask them about their barriers to sports participation, how many sports they're actively in, how they feel about their parents and their coaches, and opportunities they have to be physically active. This area, they might still need some help scheduling a few focus groups. I know that they've reached out to the Whole Person and the Urban Youth Academy, but they might want to do a couple more if you guys have any ideas, or have the ability to line up a small group of kids to interview.
Did you say the Urban Youth Academy?
Yes.
Is that Missouri, Brent? Is that right now? Is that Missouri?
Yes, that's the facility that used to, I was about to say Clown Park. What is it?
Greg Place.
Not Greg Clyce. What park is that used to be?
Where that be? I'm sorry.
The Urban Youth Academy for Vine.
I don't know the name of the park, but it's by Greg Place.
Yeah, it's by the Greg Clyce Community Center.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Casey Mo.
Thank you. Thanks, Natalie. Thank you.
Yeah, also Adrian, while they're here, we might take them out to dinner either Monday and Tuesday night. And as the sector leads, we wanted to invite you and Bill, if you would be able to come, or if one of those nights worked better for you. And we'll take the Aspen team out to dinner and kind of show them around downtown and the area a little bit.
Probably Tuesday night. That's the 23rd, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your Tuesday night would probably be better for me.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, next on the agenda is our media and I spelled that word wrong. Our media and communications sector of the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan is launching their campaign. They presented at our quarterly meeting last month, and they are asking for our help in submitting stories that share why we move, or how we are physically active and some of the benefits that we see. It doesn't necessarily have to be you personally. If you want to share it with some of your program participants to make videos, or your organization, they're looking for some stories to launch our campaign with our partners. We also are starting to compile an image bank for people to use for the campaign. So we're looking for some stock images from our partners. If you are interested in helping provide some of those, we would love to hear from you. Let me share the link.
While Natalie's pulling that up, Brent, sounds like First Lady is there. Would you mind introducing your co-partner with? She helps him with everything. I heard her voice on the side, so I know she's somewhere in the mix. So you mind introducing your co-partner?
Don't trip now.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, the hair is kind of fuzzy.
I am Brent's wife. I am all things that he does. I'm the typer, the writer, the organizer, the doer. I got his back though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Two
she
people right there.
admin, emails, the day of operations, anytime we host our big events,
Parent connection.
our parent connection. So she is the neck that keeps my head up. So
I also wanted to invite you, if you have the opportunity to attend our school sectors meeting tomorrow. We've got a presentation from James White with Holzfire. I thought, Adrian, you might be particularly interested in this because it's similar to, I think, I'm gonna get the name wrong. It was, do you remember when for KC submitted the application for doing the girls mentoring program within their sports programming?
Right.
It's kind of, and what Brent said is kind of like that holistic approach to like teach kids to be well-rounded individuals through sport. And this programming, it's the opportunity to learn from their curriculum, where through the assistance of an advisor, groups of middle school to high school students will meet and learn about ways to change their community for better active living and nutrition policy. They'll assess their communities and then develop like community action plans to target in their communities. The meeting is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Is that right, Katie?
That's correct. And I went ahead and posted the link to register for the meeting in the chat box. And then if you want to learn a little more prior to the meeting about the Hype project, I included the link as well.
Thank you. And the last thing on the agenda that I had to mention was that the Project Play Summit, they open registrations for their 2024 summit. It's going to be in Baltimore, May 14th through 15th. Bill and I went last year when it was in Aspen, Colorado. I think we found it really valuable. And we're going to be the 15th Projects Play city, and a lot of the other cities that have been previous participants are there. So it's a really great networking opportunity to learn from people that work in the same scope of work that we do.
Where is the we can go back to the Holspire project. Where is it going to be located? I'm looking on the link. Maybe I probably overlooked it, but where's it going to be?
So the Holspire, it's just that we are having a guest speaker, he's from Holspire, discuss the Hype project and what that entails within the curriculum. And so this is more focused to any organization that has any kind of youth programming, just to give them an idea if they would like to implement it within their organization. So it's not being done right now. We're hoping to spread the idea so somebody would want to pick it up. And especially because we still have funding through some of our sectors, this would be a good opportunity to kind of have an idea for an implementation project to apply for funding for. So
you said I can register on the link that you just sent?
yeah, so the register for the school sector meeting link, that'll put it on your calendar for tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
I think that pretty much wraps up everything I had on the agenda for updates for the sector. Our next meeting will be Valentine's Day, in February, same time, 12 to 1.
Would you all mind giving Brent a balcony overview? Because we're just talking about the sports sector, but just giving him an idea of the other sectors that are engaged so that he can kind of get an aha and see how we fit into that. Katie or Natalie, the one that would like to do that would be great.
Yeah, actually, I am going to be presenting a little bit on this, like right after this meeting. So I have some slides I can pull up and show you maybe.
Okay.
Yours breathing. So Brent, are you familiar with the Kansas City Physical Activity Plan at all? I don't want to like tell you things you already know.
Not fully. I've heard a little bit, but not in depth.
Okay, so the National Physical Activity Plan was to try to encourage people to look at policy systems, environment changes to increase physical activity levels. People aren't meeting the physical activity guidelines on their own, so they're trying to give them strategies and tactics, like actual action steps to do in their communities to increase physical activity. Part of that is adapting that national plan into local communities or states. So that's what we have done and based it on the national plan. We have decided that we want 10 sectors in Kansas City. These are our sectors currently. We have school, sports, faith-based settings, early childhood, public health, media communications, healthcare, parks, rec, business and industry. The only one that's different on the national plan is that they have a military one, but since we don't have a military base here, presence here in Kansas City, we don't include that. We also broke down the education group into schools and then early childhood, because we thought that division was important because their guidelines are so different. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Oops. Oh no.
Natalie, if you go to share, when you selected it and you go to share, you can do present mode through Canva and it'll make it bigger.
Okay.
What's on, buddy? You gotta sit up and drink it. Sit up, sit up, sit up. Now drink it.
Do you see that now?
Yeah.
Okay, so each of our sectors is either co-chaired or chaired by different partners within the metro area. Like the sports sector, Adrian and Bill Brandmeier from ShareWaves chair this one. They each have, Bill is calling me right now. They each have strategies that are generally 3 to 6, and then they have about 6 tactics that are under those strategies. As you can see, the sports ones are based on alliance, access, and advocacy. Then they have work groups, and then they focus on implementation projects in the community. Examples are like our healthcare group. They're working to get health behavior curriculum put into our medical schools. Also working on getting reimbursement for healthy behavior prevention within doctor visits. Our early childhood group, they identified that they're needed for more resources for that age group. So this past fall, they surveyed over 1,000 early care and education professionals and identified where the greatest needs were. And then they're working with the state officials on both sides of the state to develop more in-person trainings for physical activity for that age group that are going to qualify for clock hours on both sides of the state. Do you have any other implementation projects that come to mind, Katie, to share?
No, you've pretty much covered. I mean, the healthcare one, the billing reimbursement, and then the curriculum, but the Walk with a Doc program too. That's one of, well, it is an implementation project in a way because we have applied for funding for it, but just to continue on, but the Walk with a Doc program, or Just Walk, we have a healthcare professional walk with community members once a month. And what it does, it provides access to free healthcare advice. And usually these are just topics like why sleep is important or being out in nature for mental health, kind of those things. But it gives an opportunity to connect with a healthcare professional where there might not otherwise be access. And so they spend like the first 5-10 minutes talking about this topic, and then they finish off the rest of the hour walking at their own pace. And it also helps to build social connectedness within that community itself. So that's one of the other projects the healthcare group has going on. And then mass media, one of our projects within that group is the physical activity campaign that Natalie had mentioned earlier. So we are launching that now, and that project is moving forward. So I don't think we have anything else going on though.
Specifically the sports sector too, our Aspen Institute Project Play report was our implementation project this year. The report or we're gonna host a summit, I think, early summer, like May, June, and then the report itself will be released early fall. I would love to invite you to that summit when we have that in person as well.
Mhm. Yeah, Bill is pretty much leading that as far as, uh, am I right? Coordinating, helping you all coordinate and getting some other parts with that. Is that right? Natalie, Katie, would that be correct? With the Aspen piece?
I mean, we're looking for any help we can get, but yeah, Bill is helping us. He's made some connections to help with the survey distribution and the focus groups.
Okay. All right. Like I said, if I can help in any way, you let me know and I can make a couple of phone calls. We can, I'll take it to Bishop Ward. We can do that. And, cause that's the other high school here in KCK. So, I'm quite sure they'd love to, be involved with something like that. And it might help that now that I'm on their board, that, anything that's going to help get their kids and get that community a little bit more exposure to what's going on, it might help a lot. So, the district unfortunately has a lot of layers, and so getting through those layers like can
We found
sometimes
that.
yeah, you found out, yeah, it can be tedious, and I'm gonna use the word frustrating, but like keep plugging. And like I said, Mr. Shepherd is the new athletic director there. He's a former dot kid, former athlete, so he should be able to help really push some things through. And we've been trying to meet for the last 4 months, and we haven't been able to meet yet. And I'm maybe
Yeah.
15 minutes from their building, so it's
One
kind
thing
of.
we were struggling to communicate was the benefit to them. I think, especially in KCK, they were worried about how it would make them look compared to other school districts potentially, and they didn't want any negative press. Where we're not going, like, we're not that specific in our survey. Like, it'll just be by county. And so we're not going to single anyone out. And
Right.
we have to know where everyone's at to target our action plans to make improvements. So that's why we want to include as many people as possible.
So let's put the car in park if you don't mind. Let's back up a little bit. Well, can you be more specific about what when they were concerned about what? If you don't, if you have any specifics,
Um,
and we'll keep it within this group, because if my head nods, I'll go, yeah. If I so I get it.
well, I might stop the recording then.